Right now in your backyard, a bird the size of your fist is smarter than your dog, and it has been quietly judging you for months. That little shadow on your fence, the one that never seems to fly away when you step outside, it's not just watching, it's studying you. It knows your routine, it remembers your face. It has already decided whether you're safe, dangerous, or useful. And while you thought it was just another ordinary backyard bird, it has been building a detailed profile on you that would impress the FBI. Most people have no idea they're being observed by an animal with problem-solving skills that surpass many mammals, memory sharper than your pet, and social intelligence that lets it pass knowledge about you to its offspring. You walk past this bird every day, completely unaware that it's far more aware of you than you are of it. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal exactly which common bird this is, why its brain puts your dog to shame, and the startling truth about what it's really thinking every time it locks eyes with you from the power line. Stick with me until the end, because once you see what's happening behind those sharp little eyes, you'll never look at your backyard the same way again. Let's step outside together and meet the bird that's been outsmarting us all. Picture this. You step into your backyard on a quiet morning, coffee in hand, and there it is again, that glossy black bird on the edge of your roof, head tilted, eyes locked on you. You've seen it 100 times. Maybe you even tossed it a few crumbs last week. But what you don't know is that this same bird watched you bury your old dog in the corner of the yard 2 years ago. It remembers the shovel, it remembers your tears, and it told its family about the kind human who leaves food out when he's sad. That bird is the American crow, and yes, it is smarter than your dog. Here's the first revelation that still gives me chills. Crows can recognize individual human faces for up to 5 years, sometimes longer. Not just that person gives food. They remember specific faces and pass that information to their children and grandchildren. Professor John Marsluff at the University of Washington proved this in a famous experiment. Researchers wore rubber masks while trapping and tagging crows. Years later, the crows, and their offspring who had never even seen the masks, still scolded and dive-bombed anyone wearing those exact same faces. They had literally taught hatred down through generations. That is not a metaphor. Inside that small crow brain, a region called the nidopallium caudolaterale, basically their version of our prefrontal cortex, lights up like a Christmas tree when they see a remembered human. It's processing memory, emotion, and decision-making at a level that rivals primates. Your dog might recognize you and get excited when you come home. But this crow has been quietly building a mental file on you, your family, your car, your schedule. It knows if you are the type who scares them away with a broom or the type who leaves peanuts on the fence post. And here's what gets me every single time. That crow isn't just surviving in your backyard. It's thriving because of how well it understands you. But that was only the beginning. What this bird can do with tools and planning will completely change how you see every crow you meet from now on. But that was only the beginning. What this crow can do with tools will blow your mind. In your own backyard, you might have seen one drop a hard-shelled nut onto the road and wait for a car to crack it open. That's not random luck. Crows actually manufacture tools. They bend wires into hooks, strip twigs to the perfect length, and use them to fish food out of tight spaces. Scientists at the University of Cambridge watched New Caledonian crows, close relatives to our American crows, solve puzzles that required 3 separate steps of planning. Your average dog struggles with basic cause and effect. These birds think several moves ahead. And then there's the social side. Crows hold funerals. When one of their own dies, they gather in large numbers, call loudly, and inspect the body. They remember who was responsible and spread the warning through the entire neighborhood flock. If you've ever had a crow suddenly start yelling at you from the trees for no reason you can see, there's a good chance one of its relatives saw you as a threat months ago. Before we go deeper, you need to know one key thing about how birds actually think. Bird brains are nothing like what we used to believe. For decades, people called them bird brains as an insult, but modern science has flipped that completely. First, their brains are incredibly dense. A crow's brain has roughly the same number of neurons as a monkey's, packed into a much smaller space. Second, they have a specialized region called the pallium that works like our cerebral cortex for complex thinking. Third, they form long-term memories that can last decades. Fourth, they understand recursion, the ability to embed ideas inside ideas, something once thought unique to humans. Fifth, they show self-awareness. They can recognize themselves in mirrors and even use that reflection to check parts of their own body. And sixth, they plan for the future. They hide food in thousands of different spots and remember exactly where each one is, even months later. These aren't just clever tricks. These are signs of advanced intelligence operating right in your backyard every single day. Try this simple test tomorrow morning. Put out 2 different types of food in 2 separate spots. Say peanuts in one place and dog kibble in another. Watch which one the crow chooses first and how it behaves when you step outside. You'll quickly see it isn't acting on instinct. It's making calculated decisions based on who you are and what it learned about you before. If you want to understand what your birds are really doing, thinking, and remembering, subscribe. No sponsorships, just the secret life of the birds in your backyard. Because once you see the crow's true intelligence, the next layer gets even more personal. Because once you see the crow's true intelligence, the next layer gets even more personal. That crow perched on your roof isn't just smart. It's aware of you in a way that feels almost human. It knows your schedule better than some of your neighbors. It has watched your kids grow up. It remembers the exact sound of your car engine pulling into the driveway. And here is the part that still stops me cold every time I think about it. Crows don't just remember faces. They remember kindness, and they return it. If you start feeding one crow regularly, it will begin leaving you gifts. Shiny buttons, colorful beads, small pieces of metal, even jewelry. Researchers have documented crows bringing back trinkets to people who showed them respect. One famous case in Seattle involved a girl who fed crows as a child. Years later, as an adult, the same crows still recognized her and left her tiny presents on her windowsill. They were saying thank you. That is not a metaphor. Inside their brain, the reward centers fire when they interact with a trusted human. They form genuine social bonds. They weigh your actions the same way they weigh another crow's. Friend or foe, generous or cruel. Worth remembering. Think about what that actually means for you. Right now, in your backyard, there is a wild animal that has been building a relationship with you without you even knowing it. Every time you ignored it, it noted that. Every time you smiled and tossed a peanut, it added that to your file. Your backyard isn't just space. It's a shared territory where an intelligent mind has been quietly deciding who you are as a person. And it gets deeper. Crows understand third-party relationships. They know which of your neighbors is kind to birds and which one throws rocks. They share that information across families and territories. Your reputation as a human travels through the crow network faster than neighborhood gossip. This common backyard bird has been judging you with a mind more sophisticated than most pets. It doesn't just see you as a food source. It sees you as an individual with character. But here is the most wondrous truth of all. These birds are not distant observers. They are your neighbors. Conscious, calculating, and capable of remembering you long after you've forgotten them. And once you truly accept that, everything about stepping into your yard changes. Let me show you exactly what you can do starting today to turn that silent judgment into something beautiful. First, build trust the right way. Crows are picky about consistency. Choose one spot in your yard, maybe the corner of the fence or a flat rock, and leave the same high-quality food at roughly the same time each day. Unsalted peanuts in the shell are perfect. They love the challenge of opening them, and they remember the exact spot. Do this for 2 weeks without chasing them away. You'll notice the same crow returning earlier and earlier, watching you with calmer eyes. Second, speak to them. Yes, actually talk. Use a calm, friendly voice every time. Say something simple like, "Good morning, neighbor." They recognize voices as well as faces. Over time, they will associate your tone with safety. Many people who do this report crows answering back with soft rattles or calls when they hear them coming. Third, offer variety. Crows get bored. One day peanuts, another day chopped grapes or mealworms. Watch what they prefer and notice how they communicate their choices to others. You'll start seeing more members of the family showing up. Fourth, respect their space and their dead. If you find a dead crow in the area, don't disturb it right away. Let their funeral ritual happen naturally. Interfering can damage the trust you're building. Fifth, try the gift exchange. Leave something shiny but safe. A polished stone, a colorful bottle cap, or a small metal toy. Place it near the food. Many backyard crow watchers have received buttons, keys, or bright bits of plastic in return. It becomes a real conversation between species. Start small. Today, right after you finish this video, step outside and put out a handful of peanuts while saying a few calm words. Look that crow in the eye. Let it study you. You are no longer just the human who lives here. You are becoming the human they trust. The changes happen faster than you expect. Within a month, you may have crows that wait for you, call to you, and even escort you safely through the yard when hawks are around. These simple actions turn your backyard into a shared world instead of just your space. And when you experience that first moment of real connection, when a wild crow looks at you with recognition and leaves you a gift, you'll understand why this matters so deeply. Now let's talk about what this all really means for you and the birds who share your life. That common crow in your backyard isn't just another bird. It is a highly conscious neighbor with a mind sharper than your dog, a memory that spans years, and a heart capable of genuine gratitude. Every time it tilts its head and stares, it isn't simply looking for food. It is seeing you, the real you, and deciding whether you belong in its world. This changes everything about the space outside your door. Your backyard stops being empty grass and trees. It becomes a living community where ancient, intelligent eyes watch, remember, and sometimes even care. You are no longer invisible. You are known, and if you choose kindness, you are welcomed. Imagine stepping outside tomorrow and hearing that soft, familiar rattle from the trees. Not a warning, but a greeting. Imagine watching a wild crow gently place a shiny treasure on your windowsill, a quiet thank you for being the human who understood. That moment hits deeper than any pet relationship because it bridges two completely different worlds. These birds have been here long before us. They have survived ice ages, cities, and countless human mistakes, and yet they still choose, every single day, to live alongside us, watching, learning, and occasionally forgiving. So the next time you see that glossy black shape on your fence, don't just walk past. Pause, look back, nod, maybe smile. Because you now carry secret knowledge. One of the smartest creatures on this planet has been quietly judging you, and you have the power to turn that judgment into friendship. If you want to understand what your birds are really doing, thinking, and remembering, subscribe. No sponsorships. Just the secret life of the birds in your backyard. Drop a comment and tell me, have you ever had a crow remember you or bring you a gift? I read every single one. Go outside today. Leave a few peanuts. Speak softly. And step into the wondrous, hidden world that's been right outside your window all along. I'll see you in the next one. Out there with the crows.